Excited. We're back with one of our client success specialists, Presley, who is so good at what she does. And I'm so excited to share you with the podcast today. Today's episode is going to be so good. We are talking about the fear of showing up and how this is keeping you small and robbing you of hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and how to move past the fear. Presley, with your background in acting and experience, you're amazing to talk about this.
I think this is a huge topic many struggle with, especially when being the face of your business and an entrepreneur. Sometimes you have to fake it till you make it, but getting to a place where you feel confident in doing so, that's the sweet spot.
I remember the first time having to post on social about my agency, and I was like, this feels so gross. These are all my friends from college. Everybody goes through these feelings, and we're hoping this podcast episode teaches you how to move through those feelings, because your next level is waiting.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's start. Why do so many entrepreneurs, freelancers, social media managers, and agency owners struggle with showing up in the first place?
That's such a loaded question, because obviously there's so many underlying reasons. I think some of the big ones are fear of judgment, fear of rejection. I always think of this GIF that I use often, and I've never watched The Simpsons, but everyone should know it. It's where the main Simpson guy is backing into a bush and wants to hide, right? When you show up in a business, people think, I'm just going to own a business, but you have to be the face of your business. Worrying about what friends are going to think. It comes down to the fear of the unknown, like what's on the other side, which really is just failure. There's one of two things that's going to happen. You're going to succeed and be amazing, but there's still judgment that comes with that. So that's where that fear of success is. Then there's failing, and that's even worse. Imposter syndrome, feeling like you're not expert enough. It's not perfect yet. And fear of failure.
And rejection. Fear of what other people are going to think about you is one that I definitely was struggling with when I had to make that switch. One thing that helped was realizing how many people I was not helping by staying small and not sharing what I needed to share. I think focusing on us less and more about how you're serving other people help put that fear, your ego, that's, this isn't safe, this is unknown, in the backseat rather than in the driver's seat.
I talk about the book Big Magic a lot. She gives the analogy of fear and road trips. Fear is invited, but it has to sit in the back seat. It has no access to the windows, doesn't control the music, and it has to be quiet, but it's allowed to come. Just giving boundaries around it. I know that's easier said than done, but when you look at fear keeps me from touching a hot stove. There's good, so game changing.
I'm going to offend the people that have cats here, but for people that have cats, there's something in like the feces of cats that people ingest, and it basically turns off your risk parameter. Some people that have cats do things that risk their life. We don't want you poisoned with cat feces. We want to assess your risk appropriately, but not let it take control. How can you look at fear as a positive? This is like imposter syndrome. You can let imposter syndrome keep you small, or you can be like, I'm scared of that. I need to do that. When you recognize that, growth happens, which feels so good.
I was talking about imposter syndrome yesterday. She was like, how do I stop it? How did you do it? And I'm like, man, how did I do it? Because there's no perfect way. But a couple of things I told her is, one, you have to recognize that imposter syndrome is not a truth. It's a thought. Caitlin, our other success coach, is always talking about rerouting those thoughts. Feeling like an imposter doesn't mean you are one. It's your brain reacting to stepping outside of your comfort zone. Successful people have to do that, so it's normal. So if you can be like, oh, I'm feeling imposter syndrome, that must mean I'm really successful. How cool. But then also reframing it as growth. Right? When you feel uncomfortable, that's when you're growing. Imposter syndrome fades the more action you take, the more reps you do. That trudging through the mud piece of imposter syndrome, where you pull yourself up by the bootstraps and you keep sending proposals, keep getting on sales calls, keep making offers. For me, I learned this because my background is in acting, which a lot of you know. But When COVID happened, we had to put ourselves on tape a lot. There was no in-person auditions happening, and I hated seeing myself on tape. I was like, oh God, like just chicken skin cringing at rewatching those videos. And there was no option to go in person. And I was like, I have to do this. So the more that I could pull scripts that didn't have pressure attached to them with an audition and just record myself, put myself on camera and listen back. And I had to figure out like, why was I feeling so uncomfortable? I was sending that to someone to watch. I love being in front of a camera, but you have to get comfortable hearing yourself speak. You can't just send it blindly.
And be okay with sucking. We don't want to be bad, but the only way to get good is to be willing to be a beginner. We hold ourselves to a high standard of perfection, which doesn't exist. You have to be willing to suck if you really want to get incredible at something. Allowing that, being like, okay, maybe I'm not going to be the best right now, but I'm going to put in the reps. I know this is a first draft. Keep trying and get better. If you focus on getting 1% better every single day, you're 37 times better in 1 year from now than you are today. It's just like we think we have to be amazing right from the get-go.
It's that cliche, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. What's the alternative? You stay in the exact place you are and you're uncomfortable there too. Which one's worse?
How do you see fear of rejection holding people back or robbing them from their next level in this journey?
I see it mostly in lead generation. Uncomfortable with sending cold DMs or Upwork proposals, right? Because with that comes getting on the phone with somebody. With that comes potentially someone saying no. I think also it shows up even more in showing up in content to do lead gen, like in your own marketing. We talk about different methods of showing up in lead gen. The only alternative is you're not going to sign a client if you just stop.
You can hope, but it's going to take a lot longer.
I hope that for all of you, but the realistic side is that's not going to happen. Like, you have to make opportunity for yourself. I want to feel more how many touch points I do. And that's so much more comfortable than being like, what are people going to think? I hate seeing myself on camera. If you hate seeing yourself on camera, start recording yourself all the time. 100%. Don't post it. Just record yourself. I told the girl the other day, record yourself and put it in a folder. Start getting those reps.
If anyone does not feel comfortable on camera, please go to my YouTube channel. It's so bad. I remember my mom after 12 weeks, 12 videos. She's like, wow, you got so much better. And I was like, if my mom is saying that to me, that means I was really bad to start.
Go to any successful influencer's YouTube channel. There's not one person who didn't have their sparkly blue eyeshadow phase. Be proud of that phase. I look at girls now where I'm like, go and get your lip smackers from Claire's to have that time.
Immediately flashing back to a photo from college with this like massive like silver plastic belt. I have to find it and put it on screen. It is so bad.
We've all had those moments, right? Not doing it is just going to keep you where you are. And that's the bottom line.
You're never going to get better. People will tell us they want to grow, but don't take steps to do it. And then they come back to us years down the road and we're like, okay, so what's changed? And they're like, no, I'm still in the same place. I'm still in a job I hate, still not making the revenue I want. We could have solved this years ago. Think about what a different place you would be in right now if you had started when we first spoke. Or the desire.
If you're in the program, you've heard me say this 10,000 times, and I hope it's ingrained in your brain. We teach people how to feel about things, right? So if you're going onto sales calls or lead gen being like, I do social media and I could really help you, I think it would be good, and you're uncomfortable or not thinking of yourself as an expert, even if you don't feel like it, they are going to feel that. But if you go into it and you're like, listen, this is what I do. I produce amazing results. I'm excited about my business and to talk to you. They are going to feel that way. You control how people feel. And it's about how you walk into a room, how you show up.
The same way a $500 social media management package could be sold as a $5,000 package. No differences in deliverables except how you communicate the value, how confident you are. This is the solution that they need. I tell you, I don't have a budget, They have a budget when they see the value.
There's power in showing up. There's power in how you show up. There's power in numbers, right? Like that topic can be so granular because like you're 100% right. There's been plenty of people when I had my agency where they came to me with a $500 budget. And then at the end of the day, they're signing a 2K package. People are like, how did you do that? People just want to feel safe. If you can recognize what people are feeling on a call and I know that I'm producing good results, then I just have to communicate that.
When they say I have a $500 budget, is I'm willing to light $500 on fire. But what is your budget if we're talking about ROI? How much will you pay to get a 5x return on investment, a 10x return on investment? I would pay $1 million if you could turn it into 10 million. Just the communication of value. I don't have $1 million. I'd find $10 million if you could turn it into 100 million. If you can make me feel safe about that, absolutely. For people that feel fear of showing up, what are some steps to get started?
Really good question. Number one is having tools to get you out of. When we feel fear, we are stressed. Feel it in your throat, my hands sweat. I can't focus. Let's say you're feeling that 20 minutes before a sales call. You need tools to get your nervous system to neutral. Pushing through and getting on the call in this heightened state and not having the tools to bring yourself down is really important. So number one, how do I get my nervous system down to neutral? Marcy and a lot of the girls in the program use butterfly tapping. For everyone, it's different. For me, I need to be outside. 5-minute walk, maybe music, get into my right brain out of that freak out state. I think number one is figuring out how do I regulate my nervous system? What is the tool that and then I think I told another girl the other day, create a folder of moments where you feel like because a lot of this imposter syndrome, right? So create a folder of just like moments where you felt you were successful. Often we talk about creating a portfolio or showing results to clients to convince them of our value and that we're the right choice. But have a folder on your phone of like that you can look through and remind yourself like, oh yeah, I'm really good at what I do. I started doing this because I needed someone who struggles with body dysmorphia sometimes. I was like, I need a folder of me dancing or pictures of myself that remind me who the F I am. So that I can go in and be like, oh yeah, I'm really cute. Look at all these cool things my body can do. So give yourself a folder of maybe it's an email from a client. Maybe it's a selfie of you in a moment that you were feeling just like the baddest version of yourself, right? Like things that no one needs to see just for you. Go ahead.
No, I just love that. Even when you have a bad day at work or you decide you have to fire a client or you're like, do I know what I'm doing? Looking at those folders are helpful.
I think just our level of success is defined in like the amount of clients we have or the amount of money we're making. We get so caught up in that. But there's so many moments I felt more successful and I wasn't making any money. I was really happy to be doing something. Those moments feel good tracking your wins, like a receipts folder. I talked about this a little bit in the beginning, but reframing these thoughts as growth, where it's like, I don't belong here, shifting that to I'm growing, I'm learning. Discomfort equals growth. And I think just rerouting those thoughts immediately, even if written down when I'm spiraling, you could not get me to think.
Your nervous system is created to keep us safe. Still operating with the mindset of if I do something, I might die. If I do something I haven't done before, I might be eaten by a lion. That's the reaction your body's having because we don't know what's going to happen. If you go after your dreams, what's the worst that's going to happen? There's no negative to putting yourself out there or going after your dreams. There's no such thing as failure unless you give up. Maybe you don't hit your goals right away. Maybe you don't land that client. Maybe you do. Maybe it's more than you imagine, but you're growing. And the more time you show up, the more you do the reps, the better your confidence and higher your chance of success. Success is inevitable. If you keep trying and get better.
Anyone who tells you they were an overnight success, or if that's the headline, that person probably is. No, it wasn't. This world in which overnight success is celebrated more than hard work needs to be debunked immediately because like there is so much to be celebrated in the hard work that someone put into something to get to where they are. Just because you didn't see the years of work doesn't mean it's not celebrated in the same way.
This is something I struggle with, and a lot of our audience struggles with. As somebody that's really goal-oriented, I'm constantly raising the bar of where I want to get to. I've had to learn to enjoy every day of the journey, not just the destination. Would you rather be happy in 10 years when you accomplish XYZ, or be happy every day that you show up as your best self and grow 1%? Happy every day, or most days, rather than once 10 years from now when the bar is going to raise again, and I wouldn't be satisfied with that either.
I think part of it is that Olympic athlete syndrome. It's like you work so hard for something, get there, and then you're like, what next? I always tell the girls, there's no ceiling in this industry. I believe if you came to me with any goal, if you told me, I want to make $500,000 this year, I'd be like, great, this is the amount of work it's going to take. It all comes down to how much work you're going to put in and how many reps you're going to do. If being a business owner were easy, everyone would be doing it. You have to be vulnerable as a business owner. Keep doing the reps, keep taking action, and those feelings of imposter syndrome will start to.
Absolutely. You're going to look back and be like, holy shit, look how good I am. Find something else that isn't related to business that you can be a beginner at and get good at. For me, I wanted to start wheel throwing again. It's fun, meditative, and it's something that has no weight to it. If I suck, if I'm good, it doesn't really matter. I was bringing this up because of you with dance. I don't know if you were just naturally gifted, but I could imagine I used to do dance when I was younger, so bad now. But if I were to put myself in those situations, you get so much confidence from doing that spills over into every area of your life. It doesn't have any correlation to work, but it does at the end of the day when you really peel back the layers.
I used to be a dancer. For those of you who don't know, I used to be a dancer. The dance I do now for fun is not what I did as a child. It's very different. Stepping into my first dance class, especially as someone who's very goal-oriented and wants to be good at everything, I was so uncomfortable, even though I've been a dancer for years. I was like, oh my God, I'm so uncomfortable. I set a goal. My only goal this class is to look myself in the mirror the whole time. I want to look at myself the whole time. I think now I leave dance class 5 inches taller. I feel so good. I wish there was a morning dance class so I could go into my day like that. I would be like the baddest bitch in Los Angeles. I'm not the best dancer, but I have the confidence.
I love it. If you lack confidence or are experiencing imposter syndrome, I think another strategy is to find something that's not related at all to work, your business, and start doing it. Get good at it and hold yourself accountable. How do you think somebody can shift their energy online to attract high ticket buyers? Somebody that's coming to us, that's listening to this podcast, that's struggling with only attracting low ticket buyers. What do you think they can do to change that?
I think number one, the obvious one is getting really clear on your positioning and who you're talking to. We do a lot of work on positioning and messaging here. It's way harder than people think. I'm talking bold brands. What is a bold brand? How do they feel? I told one of my girls, white space on a page. You're showing me words, but I want you to get deeper. It's all the things that you're not saying. I want you to get hyper specific with your messaging and positioning. It's so important. Getting hyper specific. There's a lot of talk right now about faceless brands and then brands who have the face. Do I think that a faceless brand can be successful? Sure. And I think that they're coming out more and more. But when you're working with people and you're asking them to give you a 6-figure investment, you need to be the face of your brand. Show up. They need to know who they're working with, build that trust. If you can build it prior to being on a call with somebody and someone gets on a call with you for the first time and they're like, I feel so safe talking to you. I feel like I already know you. It's going to make your job
easier.
You're not going to have to spend the first 30 minutes building trust. They already trust.
It's way easier to do it with face than with a photo of a hand.
I think hyper specific with your messaging. When you think you're being specific, go back again. Get hyper specific. I'm not talking about niching down with real estate agents on 3rd Street. Bold brands, for example. Like, that's so large. That's so vague still. What does that mean?
We were talking about being micro specific about their desires, pains, transformations, what they want to see, bring senses into your messaging, what they're feeling, seeing, smelling. It helps so much. It starts with that inner belief. and the mindset. If you show up and your energy says this is a $500 package, you're going to get $500 for it. If you show up and you're walking down Melrose after your dance class, they're going to be like, okay, how much is it? A lot of us struggle to step into our most confident self. It all starts with you, which is why we go back to the nervous system. What are those things that build confidence? Maybe keeping promises to yourself, right? What are those small promises you can keep, but also owning it? How many women have been taught to be demure, to be a good girl, to not ruffle feathers, own your greatness, step into it. Be like, I am Presley after a dance class, 5 inches taller. I'm so confident I can do anything right now. That energy is magnetic. Our energy shows how we feel and our words back it up.
And speaking with certainty, like when you are speaking with certainty versus just here's my take on this, right? Here's my stance. And that is like for the more vague of we teach people how to feel about things. Okay, how do I put that into play? It's really speaking with certainty. It's being on a call and being like, this is my stance on this. This is what I believe.
Your body language, a lot of neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, your body language says so much. Having your shoulders back, smiling changes the energy. There's so much to mirroring somebody else's energy, but certainty is so important. How your tone of voice, it all is just a game changer.
If you guys know anything about me, I have fun knowledge, but I don't ever know the exact meaning. The other day I was talking to Caitlin and I was like, yeah, I was having this call and I was getting a lot of head nods. Caitlin was like, that's called the yes ladder in sales. And I'm like, oh, really? Same thing here. She's explaining NLP. And I'm like, great, never knew that.
Any other pieces of advice?
Just take bold action. It's going to feel uncomfortable. But what aligns with the version of you that takes up space? Start asking yourself that. Start asking yourself, how can I take up space today? Go and do that. You deserve to take up space. You're deserving of success. Everyone is deserving of it. You can have it, but you need to take action.
If you want something, but your actions aren't aligning with it, the first question I would have for myself is, why do I want this? What is my true motivating factor? At the end of the day, how is this going to change my life? I want to launch an agency. Why? To earn as much money as possible. Why? Because I want to change future generations in my family. Why? So people can have different opportunities. We want it to be more than money. Money's not enough to get you past that fear and keep that consistency. Once you have a why that is motivational, you leave excuses and step forward because your calling is greater than just, I want an agency or I want to do this because I want to make a lot of money.
That shift will happen the moment you stop waiting for permission and start acting like you belong in the room.
If you enjoyed this and you're like, okay, I want to do these things, this was really helpful. I have a notepad worth of notes, but I still feel like I need more support in turning my dreams into a reality and launching or scaling my marketing business. What are some actions they can take? If anybody is listening to this podcast, they have a page full of notes, they're feeling inspired, but still need more support to launch their freelance business, scale their agency, achieve their dreams, what are some things that they can do?
I think number one would be you're in a great place already, like listening to these different episodes. There's a slew of information here that's so valuable, and that's part of taking action. I'm proud that you're here. A step further is heading to our Instagram, looking at all the content there. We have amazing resources. We're offering free business audits, dive deeper into your business and help you and give you some actionable. DM us at Lucky Girl Social and we will get you on our calendars. And I love connecting with you guys at every part in your journey. So please do it so that I can meet you.
If you like this episode, reviews are my love language. We've been getting feedback on Instagram and via calls. But if you have it in your heart, I would appreciate it so we can push this out to more freelancers and agency owners. Thank you so much, Press. This was beautiful.
Thank you for having me always. I love to yap.